Welcome everyone. So first make today's agenda what we'll discuss today. Today we'll discuss the compare and difference in Linux, how to check the process ID, how to check hidden files in Linux, Gunzip and Uptime. So first I'm checking the present working directory PWD. After that I'm checking if any files are present on that present working directory or not. So ls minus lrt, then start is denoting all the files, so it will show all the files on that particular present working directory. So only one file is there, that is the main.sh. Main.sh basically what you will observe on that, the left hand part, that is basically the main.sh. okay, that is the content of the main.sh file. So first create few files. So touch test1, touch test2, touch test3, touch test4. I have created the 4 test file, and obviously since all those 4 files are the touch files, so the size of all the 4 touch files are 0. okay, so let's check it. ls minus lrt, then again start, so that it will display all the files on that particular present working directory. Since test1, test2, test3, test4 all are the test files, so the size of that particular test file is 0 byte. okay, so after that I have put some content on one particular file. Let's say it's a test1 file. okay, so first check the content of the test1 file. So cat test1. Those who are new in this tutorial, I am suggesting to all of them to just visit my previous videos, so that they will understand what are the basic scenario of cat command, all those things, lslrt, all those command. okay, so cat test1, since the nothing is on the test1 file, that's why it is not displaying anything. So put something on the test1 file, vi test1. Now I am putting something, that means the insert, let's my name, then IT world with animesh. Let's close it, so escape. So now again check the content of the test1 file. So test1. So again we have observed that here is the 2 lines, one is the animesh and second line is IT world with animesh. okay, so if we use the compare, that means cmp compare test1 and test2, so test2, so if I compare between both the files, that means test1 and test2, let's check it, press the enter. So it is basically showing that the test1 and test2, both the files, it is basically the, and one more thing, I'm just checking test ls minus lrt, then I'm checking test1. okay, here the test, and one more thing, ls minus lrt test2. okay, so here the size of the test2 file is 0 byte, since it's a touch file, and the size of the test1 file is 31 byte. okay, because we have put something on the test1 file. So with the help of compare, we just checking the size of both the files. So since the size of test1 and test2, both the files are not same, that's why it is displaying. okay, and now let's check compare test2 and test3. Test2 and test3 both are the 0 byte files. Now if I put the compare between the test2 and test3, let's enter, it is not displaying anything. So the conclusion is that if there is a size mismatch between any files, so in that case if we use the compare, so it will display something. So if you don't get any result after implementing the compare command, it indicates that there is nothing in size difference between both the files. Now let's go for the difference. okay, so first I am clear my window, so the cursor will become upward. So now diff test1 and test2. In the test1, we wrote something, that is the animesh and IT world with animesh. Both the lines we wrote on the test1. but in the test2, that is the 0-byte file, nothing is in the test2. Okay, so with the difference, with that particular command in Linux, we just checking the content of the file. So conclusion is that to check the content of the file, that means what is the content between both the files, what are the difference of the content between both the files. To get that details, we'll use the diff, that means the difference. Okay, but if we use diff test2 and test3, content of both the files are 0, that means nothing is on both the files. That means I'm talking about test2 and test3. Now let's press the enter. It will not displaying anything. Okay, so compare, basically we will check the file size, and difference, basically we will check the content of the file. Okay, so now go to the second agenda, that means the process ID. To check the process ID, we will use ps-ef, that particular command. It will show you all the process ID which is running onto the system. Let's enter. It is the PID. PID basically the process ID. Okay. Now check the hidden files in Linux. I am going to the third agenda. Okay. First, let's check all the files which are present in current working directory. So ls-lrt, then start. So it is basically all the files which are present in current path. Okay. First, I'm going to hidden the one file. Let's say it is a test4 file. I'm going to hidden. So how to hide one file? You will use move test4, then you will use dot. In Linux point of view, it is saying that period. Okay, so test4, then dot, again test4. Okay, so now let's check it. ls, just put ls. Okay, here you will not observe that test4 file because I have hidden that particular file, that means the test4 file. So if you want to check all the files, including which of the files are visible and which of the files are hidden, so in that case, what kind of command do you use? You will use ls-la. Now let's press enter. It will showing the test4 file as well, because test4 file is hidden file. That's why it has showed the test4 file like dot test4, that is the period test4. So if you want to check all the files, whatever it is hidden or it is the displaying, you will use ls-la. Okay, now let's clear the entire window. So the cursor again going to upward. Now Gunzip and Uptime. The next two agendas are Gunzip and Uptime. So first I'm checking all the files, ls-lrt and start. So these files are there. Here I am using ls-lrt. So that particular file, that means the test4 file which we have hidden, that file is not displaying here. Okay. So if you want to Gunzip, first you want to make the zip file, okay, of the test2. Let's say test2. So in that case, how you will do it? You will use that. First, I am just checking ls-test2. So it is 0-byte file and the format of the test2 file is like test2. Okay. If you use zip test2, now let's check ls-lrt and start, so that it will display all the files of that current working directory. ls-lrt, then start. Here it is the format of the test2 file has changed like test2.gz. Okay. If you want to back it again on previous position, that means if you want to Gunzip that test2 files, in that case what you will do, you will use that Gunzip test2.gz. Now let's check ls-lrt start. Again Previously it was test2.dz. Now again it has converted to test2. Okay. Now we'll check the uptime. Now the last agenda for today's lecture is uptime. What is uptime and what is the significance of uptime? How will it be checked? So you just have to mention uptime and then enter. So what it is displaying here, it is displaying that, and one more thing, I'm just date as well. Okay, so uptime, the first thing, that means the 13, 45, 12, it is basically showing the date, that means the current particular time. Okay, current particular time, and time is in UTC time zone. Okay, and the next thing, that means the status of the server is off. Okay, and how can you check the server name? You just have to write the host name. You will check the server name. Okay, so the status of the server is off, and how much time it has upped? It has upped for 19.08 hours. It has upped. How many users are logged in into the server in right now? 0 users have logged in into the server. What is the load average? Load average means there is a 3 numbers are there, 1.86, 1.99 and 2.19. It is basically showing that the CPU load average, that means the how much process are running into the CPU and what are the process are in waiting state. And 3 things basically, that means the first, second and third. That means the first thing basically showing the 1 minute load average. Second thing is basically showing the 5 minutes load average, and third thing is basically showing the 15 minutes load average. So this was all about for today's lecture. Thank you.